Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Welcome back, citizens, to an all-new episode of the Batcave Podcast. It's your old bat chum, John S. Drew here. And, you know, at one point in the past, I said in the not-too-distant future, we should cover movies that were so badly made about Batman that, you know, we just can't help but just sit there and talk about how awful they are. Now, myself and my co-host here, Robert Long, welcome aboard, sir.
Hey, good morning, John. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. You know, we've managed to find the good in just about every one, even some of the ones that weren't so good. And now I think we've hit the wall here. We've hit the one that, honestly, just before coming on air here, I had to get up and clean up my dog's poop and pee that he'd managed to do in the house, and also take care of a sick child. I woke up to a sick child, and that was a much more pleasurable experience than watching The Wild World of Batwoman. My God, this thing is awful.
Yeah, so worse than James Batman for you, was it, John?
Worse than James Batman. At least I could just try to find, you know, with the Joker and the Penguin, it was cute. There was something goofy. This thing earnestly tries to almost be a good movie. I get the feeling it was like James Batman knew in its heart. It wore its heart on its sleeve. It was dumb, but at least it was trying. This thing was, and as we're going to discuss here, I mean, director Jerry Warren was clearly trying to just cash in on the craze and say, if I slap Batman on it, it's like, hell, they slap Bat on everything on that show. If I slap Bat on this movie, we're going to get a million. That's all I can absolutely see. And it shows, because he made no effort in this thing whatsoever, and yet at the same time tries to be as earnest as possible in making this a legitimate movie, which is weird.
Well, I mean, to end your pain as well as mine, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of the episode. So, John, this or nor clavicle?
Could you imagine if we're just like, just don't bother? We won't even bother breaking it down for you. We're done. Goodbye. We'll see you next time when we're covering. No. But
when we're covering something fun.
Yes. But you know what? At the same time, this thing does have an interesting pedigree in terms of its background. We know a lot more about it. It's also the first movie we're covering that's in English, actual English. We don't need subtitles. I can actually work in some of the dialogue into this instead of just the music.
Oh my gosh. I think you're right.
Yeah.
We haven't done one. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Doesn't make it any more pleasant.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. In fact, maybe part of the fun we've been having with some of these bad movies is just trying to figure out through their language and their actions and stuff what it is they were trying to do. Whereas this one, it's painfully obvious because they say it in plain English.
And still it's undecipherable.
Yes, it is. Before we get into the actual movie itself, a couple of things of interest that Robert and I picked up along the way in researching this one. The movie had to be changed in terms of title for its theatrical release. It's known now as The Wild World of Batwoman. It was shown on Mystery Science Theater 3000 as The Wild World of Batwoman, but it was actually theatrically released as She Was a Hippie Vampire because, of course, DC Comics went after Jerry Warren for his use of Bat. In fact, if you look at the opening with the, Bat, that thing is so close to the Bat logo, it's ridiculous.
That's true.
So I mean, and I don't know what kind of a run it had as far as a box office run, but it couldn't have been much. I actually should have, now in thinking about it, and I will do it as an addendum to post in here. I'll see if I can find any movie reviews through newspapers.com for the movie.
Yeah, I can just imagine Variety covering this.
But what's also interesting is not only just the whole legal peril of the movie, but the star, Catherine Victor. Now, you had found out something about her past, or her present,
yes,
when she was doing it. She was still working there when she was doing this movie, correct?
I believe so. She may have worked there till the early 70s, but Catherine Victor was an animator, and I believe she worked for Hanna-Barbera. She just did these little acting gigs on the side because she was interested, but her daytime job was that of an animator.
See, that's fascinating. That is, and also being involved in a creative outlet. I mean, it's not like she's waiting tables or something. She's actually still doing something creative as well. Now, I found out that she didn't want to do this movie because she didn't like working with Jerry Warren after working with him on 2 previous movies. But he promised her that this movie would have better production values, it would be shot in color, and she would get a Bat boat in the movie.
Okay. Well, black and white are colors.
Yeah. And she got a boat.
She got a boat. I don't remember ever seeing any sort of a bat on it.
No, but she was in it, so that must have made it a Bat boat.
Oh. Ow, that's wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What, oh, better production values? Okay, I got to bring this up right now, ladies and gentlemen. The credits of this are huge. The credits that run at the beginning of this are huge, and I do not believe for one moment that they had A, a music supervisor, and B, an art director.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. But it looks good.
Well, I mean, I'll give you this. The copy that we watched was better than the Mystery Science Theater copy is, which is very washed out.
Yes. Yeah.
And some of the, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, some of the scenery is nice.
Well, yeah. Yes, absolutely. I got to actually say, I got to give it credit. Maybe it's just because of my 2018 sensibilities today and what we look at as aggressively titillating. This is still tame compared to what we've seen in some other movies, too.
It is, but I think like back for the day, there was a lot of gyrating going on, and it was probably quite, a lot of old ladies back then got the vapors if they watched this.
Yes.
Not that they'd be. Oh, Myrtle! Oh my God! Look, she's gyrating! Oh! Wow.
Oh man! Oh boy! Now, did you have any other things? There's one other little fact about this film that I dug up. But was there anything you found?
Not really. I mean, we both discussed that. I mean, I will say, I'm going to tip my hand a little bit here, folks, and I discussed this with John a little bit beforehand. The only good way to watch this is to watch the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version of it. Mm-hmm. It's funny that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, watching this was like watching a really strange, bad episode of The Outer Limits.
Yeah.
But God. No, I don't have any more info other than Jerry Warren was a junk master. He did a ton of really cruddy movies, and I think Catherine Victor did work with him one last time towards the 80s in a movie. Frankenstein Island, I think she appeared in, and that was something that he did.
Okay.
That's all I got. I'd rather be watching Steve take on a cougar, an endangered species cougar than this.
Oh, man. Well, there was one other thing I had also that I found this on Wikipedia was that there's a kidnapped Batgirl in this movie. Batwoman has a league of women who help her in her fight against crime, and they're all called Batgirls. Apparently, they all get numbers, although we only actually have one identified by a number throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But this kidnapped Batgirl was supposed to be the leader of the Batgirls, number 14, but Jerry Warren thought she was getting a little too out of hand, a little too mouthy, and a little too full of herself. So he demoted her to kidnapped girl and had another person, the one who we see in the movie in his leopard print, become the new number 14.
I didn't know that she was being so uppity. I think that she's a little bit better actor than the blonde that we get for number 14.
She is, actually, and that's the funny thing, because she stood out more as the kidnapped girl and she had to do some dopey things, but she stood out more than number 14 did.
Very true, and I do think that she got a heck of a lot more lines, so Jerry Warren just basically bit himself in the ass, because he did her a favor,
yes.
I guess.
Yeah. So are you ready to dive into this mess?
I am ready. I've got a rundown of the characters so that the people at home can play along and try to keep track of all these people.
Well, don't keep track of this first scene's characters because, Robert, you can explain this in a moment. We've got a group of Batgirls showing a newbie how to work the communicator and wait for Batwoman's signal for our opening. It's like a teaser. And they're giving her the pledge.
Under Article 21, Paragraph 2, we accept your allegiance as a Batgirl. You will obey all rules and obey all orders handed through channels. Now drink this.
Do I have to?
It's part of the ritual.
Hey, it's good. It doesn't taste anything like I figured.
Now that you're one of us, I can tell. We're vampires, all right, but only in a synthetic sense. Drinking the real stuff went out with Count Dracula.
So what's this?
A real groove. Honey, mint cherry, and strawberry yogurt.
Wow.
These three gals you will never see again in this movie. This was a prologue that was put together to help stave off DC Comics and their lawsuit towards Jerry Warren and make it appear that this film is more about vampirism than it is about a female superhero that dresses as a bat. So, they're all checking their $5 wristwatches, which are their Dick Tracy communicators. Wink, wink. Basically, I don't want to drink that. Well, you got to. It's part of the cult. And this tastes really good. Yes, we're all ditzy. Thank you. That's the scene. That is the scene, folks.
That's it. And then we go to credits, where again, like I said, the Batwoman logo, clearly trying to be like Batman. And I'm sure that's what triggered them. They probably got a copy of the print of the movie, or saw the stills or what have you, and went, "Oh my God!" They didn't even have to read a script. They could have been like, "They're ripping us off."
Oh well, I mean, nobody ever accused Jerry Warren of being smart.
No.
Yeah, and considering how Batwoman turns out looking, it's a big bucket full of what the hell, people.
Right.
Roll credits. Blah 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 blah. Cut to a cobblestone alleyway at night.
A cobblestone alleyway, and I got to ask right off the bat, where was this shot? War-torn Europe?
Well, wherever this movie was shot, it probably was.
My God, it looks so like just after the war, the way that, and we have this man walking through the streets. He's approached by two thieves, and he won't give up his wallet, so he's shot. And what's interesting is the shooter looks surprised that he did it, so he runs off. The other one bends down and starts taking the wallet, and then he runs off. And the whole time, the whole event is witnessed by two Batgirls who report back to Batwoman, and it's like, you wouldn't try and stop them? You wouldn't try and cut them off? I mean, all right, you didn't stop the shooting, but stop the shooter and the robber.
Yeah, which, again, leads us to believe that these are entirely two different movies.
Yes.
And Yeah, it's like, well, some guy got shot, Batwoman. What should we do? We'll stay right there because you can't cross into the other movie. I mean, just right there, folks, just the difference between the cinematography of the one movie compared to the other, you can tell this was a splice job.
Yes.
So
it's a splice job, and the scenes that are you got to wonder if like he's making this up as he goes along, because we've got this opening which establishes just how useless the girls are, and then we cut to a club where we see a bunch of girls in tight pants dancing away in a lengthy dance scene.
Oh, yes, the Star Club, which I guess is where those two previous Batgirls were outside of.
Mm-hmm.
And does it ever explain why the heck? Oh, I guess they were watching this guy get mugged and killed, but otherwise I can't understand why they were at the Star Club. So
yeah. No, because again, that doesn't play into this. The club only acts as a way to have another Batgirl who comes off the dance floor. This is our previous number 14, the original number 14. She accepts a drink from a stranger. And
Tiger.
Yes, yeah. Tiger. Yeah, well, we don't get introduced to Tiger until after she comes around, because the drink has a Mickey in it, and she is immediately knocked out and carried away by both Tiger and what was his name? Bruno, yes.
Yes. So she wasn't slipped a Donald, she was slipped a Mickey.
or a Bill.
And yeah, I mean, not much to say about the Star Club. I mean, the gals are rather nice looking. There's one in pigtails that looks a little bit like Judy Strangis of Electra Woman and Dinah Girl.
Yeah, I mean, it's just eye candy. It's all scenery, and it doesn't really play anything into the movie other than, I guess it's a trope for these low-budget movies of the time.
Well, don't try to take it away from me, John. I've got to hold on to something on this movie.
That's true.
Give me my eye candy.
So they get her in the car, drive away. She quickly recovers in the car. I mean, she's not even like half out of it, like, where am I and stuff. She snaps out of it pretty fast. And our two men reveal that they know she's a Batgirl.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And quick thinking, Marlo Thomas lifts her wrist radio up towards Bruno to go, a Batgirl? What are you talking about?
Yes.
Where are you taking me?
Yes, because her communications are being monitored by two Batgirls who report to Batwoman.
These two Batgirls are like, do you have science studies tomorrow? No, I got math. I guess we're Batgirls. I mean, they come off as just ditzy college sorority girls. They
yes.
don't.
Well, I'm sure that's probably what they were. They probably answered an ad, said, you want to be in a movie, have some fun? They probably were ditzy college sorority girls. If this was done down in Mexico, maybe they were on their break for spring break.
True.
Yeah.
I got a feeling this was shot right there in good old L.A.
You think so? Okay.
Oh yeah, because there's a couple of locations that scream L.A.
Okay.
I've actually been to.
Okay. All right. As I said, they report to Batwoman, and now we see her for the first time. And I
Batwoman speaking. Who is this? Yes, I know. I'm picking it up on our 5-2. She's executed. Good thinking. You should alert all girls in your proximity. Hang up now and stand by for instructions.
I never really paid much attention to her in what little I saw of her before, but I had to obviously now. And my God, I mean, the first thing obviously that stands out is the black bat, the tattoo across her cleavage, which is mostly visible thanks to her shoulderless top. Oh my God!
Yeah, she's dressed like a cocktail waitress for Mardi Gras.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, that's perfect. She's got some fur draped down her left arm, and she's wearing this weird hat and her mask, her oversized domino mask, which also has like some feathers or plume on it or something. Oh my God.
This was ridiculous. I can see why she hated being in this movie or didn't want to do it. It's like, Jerry, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't look anything like Batman. I look like I should be in a fetish movie.
Yeah, exactly. Fishnet stockings, the high heels. And the funny part of it all is, not once, unlike the other Batman movies we've done so far, do we get to see her out of that outfit. She wears it throughout the whole film. We don't get to know her real name. We don't get any background. It's just Batwoman and her organization of Batgirls.
Well, that's probably on the insistence of Catherine Victor. She's like, you will not show my face to the public.
Very likely. Very likely. Our Batgirl in the car continues to try and ply them for information, but soon she's discovered what she's trying to do. Bruno and Tiger, I got to admit, they're not the dumber of the kinds of assistants you see. I mean, they have their moments of stupidity, but they're not that stupid. They actually catch on that she's trying to figure out where they're going so Batwoman can hone in on them.
That's true, because they do take her wrist radio away from her and use it against her, so to speak.
Use it against her, and they also tease Batwoman, via it. Like they speak directly to her.
Hey, Batwoman, can you hear me?
Oh.
Now, I guess we should point out that while all this is going on, yet another movie has been spliced in.
Yes, as she's being observed by a masked figure outside her office.
I wish it was El Santo, but it's not.
No.
This is quote unquote Rat Fink, the big villain of this movie, and I say it's a different movie because this costume and the costume we end up with Rat Fink, yeah, they didn't nail it.
No, they didn't. No. In fact, actually, at first I thought that was just somebody else.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah.
So,
but he observes her calling a meeting of the Batgirls.
Right.
Yes.
And then I guess they get is it that they get the brunette, the former 14, to Rat Fink's headquarters. To
Rat Fink's laboratory, because Rat Fink himself seems to be, as we see soon, in another location, because he'll communicate with them. It's this laboratory, and the laboratory is run by Professor G. Octavius Neon and his assistant, Heathcliff, which is the most unusual name for an assistant, who's got that Igor thing going. It's like, and here's Heathcliff. But it pays off at the end.
Just relax, my dear. Nobody's going to hurt you. I'll see to that.
She's a wildcat. I like to belt her one.
Come on, Bruno, lay off her. She's a good kid. A real cutie pie.
Of course she is. I must apologize to you, my dear, for the circumstances in which you find yourself. But certain things become necessary at times, and this just happens to be one of them. But you have my promise that I will make your stay here just as comfortable as possible. No, back, Heathcliff. Hey!
Well, yeah, I guess if you're wanting dollars and cents sort of payoff, I mean, it's very poor, but yes, it does pay off in the end.
You want to say, hey, you've got your girls. I'm clinging to Heathcliff.
Oh, you can have Heathcliff. I'll take the girl. They've got the gal in a cage.
Yes.
I can't really remember. I guess they're going around their introductions of everybody.
Correct.
At that point.
Yes. And Heathcliff himself is kind of pawing at the cage. He's very interested in Batgirl himself. They're contacted by Rat Fink, the man we saw observing. Well, not the man we saw observing Batwoman, but someone who kind of tried to look like him via this visual communicator.
It's like a mirror that's like placed up on the wall, and they superimpose the movie up on it.
Oh man! And he wants the communicator they got from Batgirl to monitor Batwoman.
Yes, because he's going to get in contact with Batwoman, but not until the next day, I believe.
Right. Because it is clearly the next day when the meeting at Batwoman's house is called to order. First, we see the girls all lounging around poolside, but then they're called to order. They get in line. They make their oath.
1, 2, 3. We, the girls who are dedicated to Batwoman, take our oath with all sincerity. We, the girls who are dedicated to Batwoman, take our pride with all sincerity. We, the girls who are dedicated to Batwoman, fight against evil with all sincerity.
At ease, girls. Let's hurry up.
Led by number 14 to Batwoman.
I got to say, number 14 is a terrible actress.
Oh, she's a terrible actress. Oh, my God.
She actually looks like she would fit right in like a John Waters movie.
With her leopard print?
Well, with the leopard print and the really heavy eye makeup and just the dull wooden acting. I mean, they picked her up from a lumber yard.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm sure that Batwoman's headquarters has got to be Jerry Warren's house.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, it's a nice house.
I have to say, hey, he's got a pool.
Yeah. Number 14 leads them into the house where they settle in for the meeting, and the meeting's treated like a board meeting because there are motions suggested and then carried and such. It's not just this is what we're going to do. They actually work it out amongst themselves, and their meeting is interrupted by Fink, who has Batgirl's communicator.
Attention. She got her radio back.
No, my young friend. I'm happy to inform you the girl did not get back her radio. She won't until I'm ready to return it. Are you surprised, Batwoman? Do you know whose voice you're listening to?
I'm afraid I do. And the surprise is not a pleasant one. Well, I might have known you were behind this. What have you done with that girl?
I've done nothing whatsoever, except to extend some very comfortable accommodations. She'll be returned to you quite safely, Batwoman.
And what is the price you're asking?
You know me better than that. I simply need your help to enter a certain building and secure a certain item. I'm of course aware that thievery is not in your line, and I'm sure that you can understand that the operation is a delicate one. If I had someone skillful enough to carry it out for me, I wouldn't have put myself to all this bother. I'm also certain that it's not necessary to discuss the consequences should you refuse to oblige me.
Obliging you is bitter enough consequence in itself. But I'll not take the risk of that girl losing her freedom because of me. You win, Fink, but I insist upon seeing her first.
Your distrust of me is grossly unjustified, Batwoman. However, I'll agree to your terms. 12 o'clock, at the top of Hangman's Bluff. My men will meet you there.
It's a fast cut then as we cut back to the lab and we see Batgirl crying because she's sad that, she's in the cage and such. Neon gives her one of his happy pills, so she stops crying and she begins dancing.
Okay, and here we have the first instance, or maybe the second instance, of drug use.
Yes.
In this 1960s movie.
Yes.
So I don't know if she's being slipped ecstasy, LSD, acid, or what. There's going to be a couple of little touchy subjects in this movie for the 2019 crowd.
Well, yes.
Especially much later on, and go, okay, this was in a comedy,
Mm-hmm.
But so she starts bebopping, dancing, shaking her thing in the cage. So I guess she's a cage dancer?
I guess she's a cage dancer. It's supposed to represent that or be symbolic of that, I guess, as Batwoman arrives. Now, and then it just gets, Tiger's like, come on, sit down. Let's be sociable while we're discussing this. I've got chocolate milk and macaroons.
I got to tell you, for the longest time, I thought macaroons, he was talking about macaroni, and it's like he's serving, like, pasta? What the hell? With chocolate milk? Then I had to look up macaroons as a type of cookie. Okay,
yeah.
Call me stupid.
And they sit and wait for Rat Fink to communicate. While they're sitting there, Neon puts a happy pill in Batwoman's drink, but she sees him do it. So when he's not looking, she switches the glasses. He takes a drink.
Well, my adversary, so we meet again. Welcome to my humble facilities.
So we meet again, but for the first time on your terms. I can't recall ever being placed in a position where I would perpetuate your evil plans.
I've always told you, Batwoman, there are great things we could do together. Things that could bring unheard of power and riches to both of us.
You know how I feel about you. I'm only here because I have to be, and it won't be for much longer at that. Get on with your dirty business.
Very well, Batwoman. As I've mentioned previously, I want you to get something for me that I've wanted personally for a long time. The Ajax Development Corporation has developed an atomic hearing aid. One that, with certain modifications, could pick up any telephone conversation desired. Since it has this potential, the government has refused the patent and ordered the one model they have destroyed within 30 days. I'm certain an assignment such as this will be entirely within the realm of your own many splintered talents.
So you wish to eavesdrop on every...
Neon, you idiotic fool! What do you think you're doing?
You must have switched the glasses, Batwoman. I only wanted to show you how wonderful they are. I only wanted to make you happy.
That's where you made your mistake.
And I gotta say, I gotta give him credit. The actor who's playing Neon, I love how he starts to realize that the drug is taking effect on him, and he's desperately trying to control himself by holding his hand. And it's like, I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to do it. I got to admit, that gave me a chuckle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the guy that's playing Neon is probably the most entertaining person of this whole thing, and that's because he gets to play way over the top.
Yes. So the bat fight breaks out. She slugs Tiger with the glass pitcher from the chocolate milk and punches Bruno as she goes over to freeze Batgirl before throwing down a smoke bomb.
Right. Yeah. And Bruno's just like, "What happened? Why? You know." Mm-hmm. It's now going back to the hearing aid for just a second, folks.
Sure.
This is not your typical hearing aid. You know, that you think, okay, you just put it in your ear and, you know, it's going to make you hear. This thing is the size of a car battery.
Yes.
And it's also an atomic hearing aid where if you pour cobalt something or other on it, it becomes a bomb.
Yes.
What the hell?
I guess they figured who you know, is going to have access to that chemical, you know, at a ready basis. So it's okay. We can sell this.
Well, I guess they found out that more than one person just happens to have it lying around their kitchen.
Yes.
And I guess what I found out, so they escape. You know, they escape under the cover of the smoke bomb. My thing is why didn't Batwoman come back with the cops and clean this up?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. She knows exactly where at least where the laboratory is. I mean, yeah, she doesn't know about everything yet. She doesn't know about the whole underground by the beachside cave and everything like that. But she does know about this location.
Okay, movie logic. Moving on.
Yes, exactly. Moving on. So we cut to then the Ajax Development Corporation, where the president, JB, is concerned about the hearing devices. He talks to Flanagan, who I think is his PR guy.
Flanagan's the vice president.
Oh, he's the vice president. Okay. All right. Yeah, that one I got a little confused. I wasn't sure if he was PR or with legal. I know he talks about legal because, you know, they're concerned about the hearing aid, the hearing device and the patent because JB reveals a couple of interesting things to Flanagan that he hadn't told him before. Like, for instance, he was contacted by a foreign agent who was interested in buying the device, and it turns out that JB lied because they had 30 days to destroy the device, according to him from the government, but it was really 15, and they were long past the 15, so now they were holding on to the device illegally.
Yeah, it's like, well, thank you for letting me know this,
Yes.
JB. Folks, just to let you know, Flanagan, played by Steve Brody, sounds like Bosley from Charlie's Angels.
Yes, he does.
Now that you've informed me of our legal position, I suppose asking the police for help is highly questionable, JB. Why didn't you tell me about this sooner? What do you think I'm here for?
I was afraid. And I was hoping for some kind of appeal to the patent office.
Well, we've just got to think of something to tighten it up, that's all.
I couldn't also, well, we'll get into that later on, but JB is the one who contacts Batwoman, who warns him that the theft of the device could happen. JB was hoping that an appeal would happen, but it didn't. So Flanagan sees Batwoman as their only hope.
That's true. Wasn't this whole scene like the most convoluted thing you'd ever heard?
Yes. Yeah, it was. It went on way too long, and it gave us a lot of expository dialogue that could have been filled in with a lot more ease. Hell, it could have even been done in the conversation with Rat Fink and Batwoman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. What it's robbing me of is more gyrating women footage.
Oh, man. Oh. So Flanagan goes to visit Batwoman's home. Now, when he arrives,
Yeah.
she's playing this organ. As the Batgirls surround her and listen, and they're like, without words, without saying anything, it's basically like, dude, you have to wait. So he sits down among them and just awkwardly waits there.
You do realize that you just said that Batwoman's playing an organ.
Oh, jeez. But she is! It's a musical instrument!
I didn't know it was that kind of music, that kind of movie.
I mean, it's almost like a religious experience, the way they're all just sitting around there. Maybe it was Sunday when this happened. Maybe this was their religious service.
Bear in mind that this is supposed to be a ripoff of Batman. What the hell has this got to do with anything?
I know. But again, just slap that on it and we're good.
Yeah. Do you think that they got like a rubber stamp made for her little tattoo on her chest?
I guess that, because I can't imagine. I mean, obviously she didn't get a real tattoo. And could you just imagine every day that during this shoot, however many days or 1 or 2 weeks it took, that it's like, okay, sit still. It's morning time to put on your makeup, and I'm going to, fill in your bat again on your cleavage.
I'll do it.
Oh my God, it's just awful. She finishes her music and she turns around and speaks to Flanagan. And I thought this was interesting, the fact that she expresses her disdain with the idea of listening in on conversations. That really bothers her, and she's not sure if she should even help the company with this because of the immorality of what they were trying to do anyway. But Flanagan assures her it's more about the atomic power potential of the device that could help society. And I'm like, so your thing is like, we're going to help them through atomic power via a listening device?
Again, you're trying to put way too much sense to this piece of whatever it was that you wiped up from your dog earlier.
I guess.
Yeah, no, you got the wrong idea, Batwoman. It's nothing like that.
Oh my God. And oddly enough, Batwoman, and again, because, Batwoman just doesn't just out and out order when it comes to major decisions. She says she's going to talk to the girls first. So one would assume it'll be another meeting with motions carried and granted and what have you, and off we go. But we don't get that scene. Well,
I'm grateful for small favors.
Oh, God. So we cut back to Neon, who's trying to get Heathcliff to take a pill of some new experiment he's working on. He doesn't even know what it'll do, and Heathcliff is very reluctant.
One of the few times Heathcliff shows any sort of intelligence.
Yeah. Yes. They get a call from...
Open your mouth.
Yes.
Neon, I want to let you know that I'm completely disgusted with the work of all of you over there. Letting Batwoman escape with the girl has all but ruined my last chance. We're left now with very little time to form a new plan.
I'm sorry about what happened. Everything seems to be going wrong now. How's everything at the cave? How are all my monsters?
Never mind about the monsters. Keep your thinking on what has to be done. It's going to be more difficult than ever now because I've learned through the grapevine that Batwoman herself is guarding the vault at Ajax. They're taking no chances of our formulating a successful operation. But we'll do it anyway. Success will be ours. Do you understand me, Neon?
Yes.
You do know that all that footage that's on that superimposed, that's still the Mexican wrestler footage. That's not Rat Fink.
Yeah, that's not Rat Fink. Yep. Why not? Who's gonna notice the difference? At least back then.
Probably the guy that blocked his hat.
We cut back to Ajax where we see a guard making his rounds. It looks like everything is in order, except suddenly we see Neon, Tiger, and Bruno. Bruno complete with a fake mustache sneaking in.
Yeah, Neon with a beard.
Yeah.
Because he's already got facial hair. You sure that wasn't the Marx Brothers?
Well, the way this is going to wind up playing out, this whole scene in Ajax, it seems like a Marx Brothers movie gone bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm even sorry that I insulted the Marx Brothers. Please forgive me, Groucho.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so they're I guess their plan is that they're going to hop people up on bad soup and try to steal the device outright. So how does this play out, John?
Yeah. Well, we see that, Batwoman's idea of security is having armed double guard at the vault itself, with then a bunch of armed guards milling around the room outside the vault in the one area. They're not anywhere else patrolling the area. It's just like we're just concentrating all our power in this one area. Tiger comes in, now in a bushy mustache, and he offers them, yes, hot soup from the commissary of the company, laced with happy pills. And the girls all take the soup. Now, meanwhile, Flanagan and Batwoman have gone off to the commissary itself. JB steps out of his office because he hears them all dancing and the music and everything, and he's surprised at the scene before him as he rushes off to see if he can find help for all that's going on in there. Oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah, number one, this commissary that they go to, folks, I don't know this about this 1960s, but this organization, Ajax Corporation, must be gigantic because this thing's the size of a restaurant.
Yes.
And it's got a live band playing in it.
Yes. I would love to go to a commissary with live music being played. I'd love to go to a commissary with music. I can't even think of one commissary I've ever been in, and I've been in a couple, not a lot, but like where there's even been music piped in.
That's true. And we do get to see what Hugh Beaumont did after Leave It to Beaver. He's apparently playing sax.
Oh man. And the commissary, Batwoman and Flanagan are talking as Bruno goes around handing out soup to nearby customers.
Yes, I understand. It's very good security there. Yes, I approve of it. But we have many things to do. Yes. No, we didn't order soup. We ordered a sandwich. A sandwich? No. Well, I guess this is the special of the day. It's good enough for a starter.
I don't know about you, but if somebody hands me something in a restaurant I didn't order, I don't start eating it. They even say we didn't order this, and then they shrug and they start drinking the soup. And this is the weird thing. I say that, and yet it did happen one time. One time I was working at a restaurant. I was in the kitchen. I'm a manager, and food's going out, and the waiter grabbed the wrong food for the table and dropped it on the table. And do you know every single one in that table ate the food and didn't say a word to us? Meanwhile, the other table's getting upset nearby because their food hasn't come out yet. And I'm like, when the waiter comes in, I'm like, I already sent that food out. I've got the ticket here spiked and everything. And then we realized they went to the wrong table. And meanwhile, the other table, the table that ate the wrong food, their food's just sitting there because nobody went and came and grabbed it. So it does happen that people will eat what you put in front of them. I don't get that, but it happens. And of course, here's Batwoman and Flanagan eating it, the soup. So of course it's doped as well as the others in the area. It's doped with the happy pills and such. So everybody in the commissary starts dancing.
They do. And it's. I really didn't want to see Flanagan dance, to be honest. And and we all these shenanigans is going on, and Larry Tate, JB, he's like, Miss Benson, I'm gonna go down to the commissary and get a bite to lunch. Miss Benson, where are you?
Yes.
And that's the moment that JB knows that things are afoot, because he goes in and he sees all these gyrating armed women not really guarding.
Yes. Not really guarding. And then he sees that it gets worse when he gets back to the commissary, as Bruno and Tiger have now managed to get the key from a very happy Flanagan, and they race past JB and the girls and get into the vault and get the device.
I know. I'm remembering the gyrating of Flanagan. Oh yeah, yeah. You like that? Yeah, you bet.
And now here's your 2019 sensibilities kicking in again, because it's, sensibilities like suddenly it was wrong then, like we're suddenly enlightened now or something. It was wrong then, but also as they're leaving, Bruno's got the device and Tiger grabs the Batgirl from before, the one that was kidnapped, because he's taken a liking to her, and so it's like, hey, you're coming with me.
Oh, it gets so much worse.
Yes.
It gets way worse, folks. I mean, even I'm a little bit uncomfortable thinking about where this goes. But yeah, he says, the chick from earlier. Oh, okay, come along with me. Goodbye, city life.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh. Now, what's interesting is we don't get a come down period or anything like that. Instead, it's like after the theft is over, we cut to the next element of the movie, which is this plane arriving with a representative from the patent office to make sure that the device had been destroyed, this being Mr. Seltzer.
That's right. Now, do you think that Jerry Warren really did put a camera up in that plane? That looks like an expensive shot.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Are you trying to tell me that could be stock footage?
Yeah, well.
Shame on you, John. So the patent office people arrive at the airport and make a phone call to find out that things are not as they should be.
Exactly. JB's not even at the office. He's over at the he's over at Batwoman's house. Now Seltzer has another man with him by the name of Broccoli, I think is how he said it. And this man is carrying the suitcase saying patent's office, in case you didn't know. And he also has a hoarse throat.
Yes, he's got laryngitis. Seltzer was played by Bruno Di Sota, who did a lot of work for Roger Corman. I'm just throwing that in there.
Oh, okay, that explains a lot.
He was a regular in the 50s and 60s Roger Corman movies.
Now that's one thing I'm surprised that Roger Corman never tried to cash in on the Batman craze.
I'm sure he just looked at the expense. It's like, well, I'd have to make a costume and.
Actually, let's to be fair of sorts. And maybe this is something you and I can talk about this off air afterwards. He kind of did in the 90s, I think it was, with Black Scorpion.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of did. So, I don't know. We could talk about that. Really, and Adam West appeared on that.
I enjoyed that show.
I did too. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the movies. The show itself is now available on Amazon Prime. You can watch it for free.
That's very true, and it's got a lot of Batman alumni in it, or at least 2 or 3 of them in there.
Oh, it does, including Adam West.
Adam West and Frank Gorshin.
Yep. Yeah, that's something we need to maybe think about there too, is doing something with Black Scorpion.
Well, I volunteer.
Well, considering
you're not going to take this one away from me. This has got beautiful women in it. I volunteer.
I see where you're going with this. I was just thinking bad movies and stuff, and you're like, it's got beautiful women. Okay.
Like I said, I have to latch on to something.
Yes.
John, please don't take that from me. Okay.
Okay. Now, here we go. 2019 sensibilities once again need to kick in here as we get to the scene at Batwoman's house, and she's holding a seance. No bat computer. She's holding a seance to try and locate the device.
We must concentrate ourselves fully and thusly penetrate into the realms of etheric existence. We must call upon an etheric guide who will contact those at this table within the next few moments. May we hear a voice, a sign that this message is being received by those beyond the physical plane. We call out to the world of spirits. Will someone please come through?
I am trying. Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you plainly. I wish to thank you for coming to us.
It is perfectly all right. What can I do for you?
It is desired by those at this table to locate a missing device, one of an electronic nature. It was stolen from Mr. Christian's here only a few hours ago. I emphasize the importance of locating it immediately, as it could be highly dangerous. The individuals who harbor it may not be aware of its explosive potential. I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to repeat the message. It sounded like Chinese.
I am sorry. Please give more information.
The device was stolen from the Ajax Development Company. I'm aware of the thief's identity, but not his whereabouts. He has a hidden laboratory somewhere along the coast. I was there a short time ago, but it was in the middle of the night, and I was unable to take note of any landmarkings. The location of this laboratory is what we ask you to help us with. I must emphasize again that it's most important. You're speaking in Chinese again. I have to inform you that no one here is familiar with Oriental languages. Speak to us only in English. Do you understand?
It is not I that speaks another tongue. This would be another entity.
Would you please leave the channel free so I can communicate with the other gentlemen? I'm sure you're trying to assist us. However, I can't comprehend a word you're saying. Thank you very much. Now, may we get on with the information? We have a clear channel now. You can speak to us. It seems we've lost communication.
Yeah, so Flanagan's there, Batwoman's there, Seltzer and his partner sit on the couch because they don't want to interrupt, and I guess there's maybe a couple other Batgirls, and she's trying to get a hold of the people from the other world to find out about this hearing aid. Is there a channel open?
Yes, is there a channel open? She looks uncomfortable doing this scene. She does. I think she probably even went, this is so stupid. Even for this movie, this is so stupid.
It's the stupidest scene out of a stupid movie.
Right, exactly.
So it's, and she probably would want one of those happy pills now just to get through the scene.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because it's, oh my God. Yeah, so it's uncomfortable, folks. I would have probably been uncomfortable watching it back then. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It was 50 years ago, so who knows. Thankfully, we get through that.
Yes, we do. We get through it. We see that Seltzer is not happy to hear about the theft of the device that should have been destroyed already. We get some introductions around, and we cut to Neon's laboratory where he's testing the device. And as he's doing it, in the background, we see the Batgirl keeping tone by doing exercises.
Yes, but we don't see her at first. We just see this like leather leash thing attached to a pole for a second.
Yes. So they've actually got her tied down, so to speak.
Yeah. So this is where we're starting to get into fetish territory. This whole damn movie is a fetish thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's done poorly.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's basically leashed to a pole like a dog, and she's sitting there doing yoga or isometric or aerobic things while Tiger's sitting next to her looking like he's had too many Hostess ding-dongs.
We cut to a scene. It's a quick scene with Seltzer talking with JB. JB is trying to convince Seltzer of his intentions and what he did, but it's no good. Seltzer is angry. It's a very throwaway scene. It adds nothing to the movie at all because it doesn't play up later on with anything other than possibly, when we get to the reveal at the end, which we'll talk about, that might have you scratching your head and going, but, I don't know. Not that I did, but still.
The ending makes absolutely no sense. I mean, yeah, I guess it's a sight gag to see a bunch of paper coming out of a briefcase.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Just getting the sight gag. Maybe that's the point. And even then, that's not that funny. We cut back to Batwoman, who gets a call from Flanagan, who is soused. He's gone on a drinking binge. He's quitting after everything that's happened. He's so upset, but Batwoman tells him not to give up. Her girls are out there searching. And yes, they are, as we cut to a beach where they're out there dancing and listening to a band and making out.
Yeah.
Great search job.
I hope they're not making more than minimum wage. This is not searching.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, gyrating instruments that are not plugged in at the beach, and necking with Fatty Arbuckle or whoever it was. It's whatever. To be a man in '66, where you can look like a bunch of Play-Doh and still get kissed by a beautiful woman.
Oh my God! But 14 does come around. She calls the girls to order and sends them out on the search.
Okay, fun time's over. Let's stand at attention. Get these guys' phone numbers when we have more time. Right now, we've got a job to do. Spread out in singles. Come on, let's move.
We'll get these guys' phone numbers when we have more time.
Then we cut back to the laboratory where Batgirl is trying to teach Tiger how to dance. And she gets frustrated with the way he moves and stuff. She wants out of the cage, too.
I was frustrated with how he moves. I need eye bleach.
Yeah.
I need brain bleach and eye bleach now.
Now Bruno shows up and with orders for Neon to move the lab down to the cave below because the Batgirls are combing the nearby beach. And I'm like thinking, they know the lab where it is. Why didn't they go there first and just check it? But no, instead it's like we're combing the beach, so let's just close up shop. They're closing in on us because they forgot where we are, but we don't want to take a chance they'll stumble on it. I don't know. Batwoman is searching nearby via her boat, and we're only going to call it a boat because it's not a bat boat. And then it gets. This is where it gets really weird because you've got Bruno and you've got Tiger, and instead of them going out there and doing what we see in the next bunch of scenes, this little montage, so to speak, of the girls as they're isolated on the beach. Fink comes up behind them and grabs them and captures each one, dragging them back to the cave. It's not them. He does the dirty work here.
That's true. And I swear he even had like his pants hiked up a little bit.
Yes,
so
he
they wouldn't
did.
Get wet.
Yes, he did. Yes, I saw that too.
Now that beach is where they shot Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
Okay, it doesn't make it any better for me, let me tell you.
No, I'm just pointing out that that's the location.
Okay, I never liked that show either. Oh.
Well, that makes it doubly hurtful.
It does.
So, but he's in his clam diggers. His pants are hiked up. He looks ridiculous, dressed all in black, and he's kidnapping the girls one by one.
Yes,
that's what we're getting.
Yep, exactly. Now they make their way, Tiger and Bruno and Neon and Heathcliff and Batgirl, down to the cave area. Tiger escorts Batgirl. They're kind of falling behind a little bit because she's frightened by everything she's seeing. She's startled by the skeletons, and then she sees, and this is something now another element they add in that serves no purpose whatsoever other than, I don't know, actually. I mean, Neon has been working on these race of monsters. He's got these creatures, and they frighten her even more. But Neon is concerned about how they're being treated by Fink because they're locked up in one section of the cave and stuff. And he wants to go check on them, but they don't have time because they've got to report to Fink.
This whole scene has got a truckload of weird going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
So bit by bit. First of all, do you know where they're at, John? Do you know where they're at?
Is that Bronson?
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Here, ready to move out.
Yes,
it is. You know, I said some of that looks really familiar. And how scary is that it looked that familiar that I was like, I get this.
Yeah, they were in the actual Batcave. So, yeah, we got Neon and Heathcliff and Bruno. They're ahead of Tiger and Batgirl, and Neon's wearing a jacket for some reason, and I know why now that I've seen a better print of this, because he's usually just in his white lab coat.
Right.
You know, and then, yeah, we're back to the sniping little couple between Brunette and Tiger, and she, like you said, she gets scared by the Halloween skeletons,
mm-hmm.
and it's like, they ain't nothing. Come on, you're going to really see something here.
Yeah.
And they catch up to a ledge, which is an exterior, but it's supposed to be in the bowels of the earth.
Yes.
And they see this huge matte painting.
It's a huge matte painting, but it's actually nicely rendered, I thought.
That's because it's not from their movie.
Well, I figured that much, yeah.
And the reason why Neon was wearing the jacket he's wearing is because we see the guys down in like the area where it's not a matte painting. We see their backs, so you can't really tell that it's those three, but he's got the same jacket on as Neon.
Okay, I gotcha. And the thing is, it's so disappointing because you've got this huge matte painting suggesting almost like an underground city and all, like this is where maybe Fink is going to, because he's got his monsters and everything. It's going to be this new age of humanity. I had all these visions and stuff, and then it's like you cut to Fink's lab because he's doing his own experiments too. He's a bit of a scientist himself, and it's this small little, unimpressive room where the Batgirls are all chained up.
Oh yeah, but we're missing the biggest ripoff. We haven't mentioned about the monsters.
What's that?
They're the mole people from Universal Film.
Oh, okay, I see. I didn't catch that. So that's
Those are the monsters.
So that's just footage he stole again.
Yeah. I don't know how he got away with it. That's from Universal's The Mole People.
Well, probably the Universal wasn't as litigious as they are now, because now they go after everything, even though they keep putting out crappy product. So
true, and this probably wasn't even on their radar back then.
Yeah,
they're like, what?
Yeah. Whereas DC, it's like Batman, they were probably doing everything they could as best they could to protect the license at that point when they saw how popular it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, when we cut back to Rat Fink, when he first enters his laboratory, he's still a Mexican wrestler. And the set actually looks a little better than what it turns out to be. Because we now lose the Mexican wrestler completely, and it becomes present-day Rat Fink.
Yes.
And as you were saying, the beautiful Batgirls are chained up against a wall.
Yep.
A wall with painted dials on the wall, I might add.
Oh, man. And Rat Fink. Whoops.
Yeah.
And Rat Fink has this potent tranquilizing agent he's going to use on them because they're being defiant. But Neon arrives, and of course he's getting into an argument with Rat Fink over the monsters because he wants to check on them, but there isn't time. And there isn't time because Batwoman then arrives with Flanagan, and she's got this gun that she holds on them, but the gun seems to be some multi-purpose device, as we're going to find out.
Yes, but let's not gloss over this really uncomfortable thing that Rat Fink wants to do with the girls.
Oh, what I want to ask you, Rat Fink.
Yes, Neon?
Well, it's been several days now, and I just want to look in on them to see if everything is nice. Then I will come right back, I promise you.
Never mind the monsters, Neon. I just looked in on them myself.
But you never let me see them anymore. You're always putting me off. They are my monsters, I think. I created them with these hands, with this mind.
Are you saying, Neon, that my own creations are something less than yours?
No, of course not, I think. We both know the value your great work will bring to the world. Why, it will bring,
You will be quite pleased to know, Neon, that all of your monsters will soon be multiplied.
Multiplied?
Why do you think I have these girls here? Better mating partners would be difficult to find. The offspring should be most interesting.
Those girls are my monsters. Oh, why, that's wonderful.
Well, we saw that in the last Batwoman movie too, with the whole idea that Batwoman was going to mate with, or be turned into a fish creature and then mate with him.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of frustrated scientists back in the 60s.
Yeah, very much so. Oh, my God. Oh. So Batwoman reveals that she was led there by Tiger, who now at this point reveals he's fallen in love with his Batgirl. She frees 14, who frees the others. And in the midst of all this, Flanagan is just trying to be reasonable. He's like, let's just all sit down and talk.
I'm sure if we all just sit down and talk about this reasonably.
Oh, my God. So Rat Fink, though, surprises everyone because he's able to, with a new device of his, make multiple copies of himself.
I did as you requested, Batwoman. I'm still over there. And at the same time, I'm here. And look, I'm there. And there, too.
Grab him! Ben! All of them!
You'll never catch me. I'll keep on dividing myself until you lose count.
And then chaos breaks out as they start running around the lab with the Batgirls. I almost felt like the Benny Hill music should start playing at this point.
Oh, it's like bad hee-haw music.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just I can't even describe. Yeah, I wish Chaos was there. I wish Control was there. I wish Maxwell Smart would take a stab at this. But yeah, it's
I mean, there is some fighting, there is some punching. The girls do try some of them, but others are just running around, and it's like I could just say Warren just saying, go ahead, run around, have fun. Some of you do this, like he's yelling at people and stuff, and it makes no sense because in the midst of all the chaos, you got Heathcliff over on his knees at a little low-lying table, and he's drinking all the liquids that are on the table because Neon had told him earlier, have a drink, and then he's just drinking everything. And we also see that Batwoman's gun now acts like a sonic screwdriver, a modern day sonic screwdriver, because it's scanning the device that split Rat Fink, and she figures out how to make it work and how to stop it.
Yeah, you can see people smiling. The girls are smiling in this whole madcap thing, and they're just, fist tapping Rat Fink on the back. It's like, I hate you, you're so mean. He's on a gym rope at one point.
Yes.
Swinging around.
Yes.
And it's just an embarrassment. This makes the television show look like Lawrence of Arabia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does use the sonic bat screwdriver, takes it from many Rat Finks down to one Rat Fink.
Yes. But he tries one more little ploy himself to get himself out of this. He's going to pour the Cobalt 40 onto the device, which would then activate it and cause it to blow up. But Flanagan and Tiger managed to get the device and the Cobalt 40 away from him.
Yeah, it was such a real struggle. Give me that.
Yes. And then in true Scooby-Doo, who knows, maybe this influenced Scooby-Doo. It's like we pull off the mask and reveal it to be the one person you're like, it makes no sense why you would be doing this, because...
And that's it, Rat Fink. Remove his mask.
JB! Yes, Flanagan. It's me.
But... mean all these years you've been leading a double life? You went to all this trouble to steal your own invention?
I had to do it. The patent office kept all the blueprints. I couldn't have made another model. They insisted on personally watching it being destroyed. I couldn't allow that. I just have one little weakness.
Weakness? What weakness?
Well, we all have our little throwbacks, little idiosyncrasies. My weakness is, I know this sounds trifling, but I can't help myself. I like to listen in on telephone conversations. The hearing aid was designed for that purpose. I realized that only by having it stolen from myself could I hope to have it preserved.
This makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
In a grand scheme of things, folks, because number one, we find out that Rat Fink and Batwoman have had previous skirmishes. So what the hell?
Right. Yeah. They've had previous skirmishes. He is like her Joker, basically from the sounds of it. If we even want to take it that far, and yet in the end, the whole reason he set this whole thing up, he likes to listen in on phone conversations.
Again, we're back to the fetishes. Yeah. What the hell? Now, I'm not saying that he gets away with it. He probably goes to jail, but it's like this was the straw that broke the camel's back with Batwoman. Mm-hmm. Not all these other skirmishes, but this theft, and all because he wanted to keep the damn thing. Why couldn't he just build another one?
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Again, we're trying to put logic to something that's stupid, and I'm just giving my own self a headache, so I got to stop doing that.
So, while this all is going on, Heathcliff manages to kind of drop some of the Cobalt 40 on the device.
Every time you say Cobalt 40, I think you're talking about like a malt liquor.
Right, Colt 45, I know. So they're all panicking. We got to get out of here. Neon hands I don't get this. It's like, why couldn't you grab Heathcliff and bring him along too? He hands the device to Heathcliff as they all run off, and like out of a Warner Brothers cartoon with Heathcliff standing there, it just explodes.
Well, yeah, after Neon kisses him full on the lips.
Yes, that too. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. When the explosion clears, we see that all the girls and all the men have been thrown clear onto the beach. And as they come to, we see, though, that Heathcliff is alive. My guess is maybe it was all the liquids he drank created some sort of invulnerability to him or something, but it's not going to last long, as we'll see in a moment. But because he's talking, he has his voice, he's got his intellect back, and he reveals.
I remember now. It's coming back to me, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, 14 years.
14 years?
Yeah.
I remember. We were working on an experiment. Mm-hmm. One that would bring out the personality traits of an animal. But Professor Neon, what went wrong?
I gave you some of the formula.
You gave me some of the formula? Me, your friend, your benefactor, the one who's financing your work?
Well, I didn't realize the effects would last for so long. But I've taken care of you, Heathcliff. All of these years, I've taken care of you.
Well, I'm grateful for that. But we'll have to discuss this, Neon. We'll have to discuss this quite thoroughly. Now, come along. Let's get away from this place.
And I don't get it. What's with Jerry Warren in this number? He's been like this for 14 years. We got number 14 leading them. He's been like this for 14 years. That's a little weird, that he picks that number specifically.
The guy playing Heathcliff doesn't look that old. He's probably, what, do you say mid, late 30s at this point?
I'd say that, yeah.
So apparently he hooked up with Neon when he was 22?
I guess. Maybe he had daddy's money. Maybe it was a Trump.
Well, he does have bad hair.
Yeah, that's true. He does. And quite an attitude, too. Is he? I mean, he really, I liked him better as the dumb Heathcliff.
You gave the drug to me, your friend, your benefactor? The guy who sounds like Paul Lynde?
And what's weird is he leads Neon away because Neon apparently, is injured in the explosion and stuff. He can't stand up straight. So you think for a moment there, because Neon's also, making nonsense noises and stuff, that the roles have reversed, and that's the end of it. But as we're going to see, because the movie ain't over yet, folks.
No. Well, I do get some nice scenery, so I got to give it that much.
Yeah, I guess, because we cut back to Batwoman's house, where the oath is taken once more. And then it's time to party as Batgirl continues to teach Tiger how to dance. I guess he didn't go to jail. Everything's fine with him. We're keeping him here with our Batgirl. We see that Heathcliff is a bit of a fop the way he talks and stuff, and he's just so damn annoying. But we do get some sort of resolution here, or redemption, or I don't know what you want to call it, because he can survive an explosion. But when Neon hits him with a rolled up newspaper on the head while trying to get a fly, he reverts back to his former self.
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, as a child, he had been dropped on his head.
Maybe that's it.
Well, I mean, that's his explanation.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh.
It's can you imagine, Batwoman? Just a simple tap to the head can completely change a person's personality. Whap!
And then we're treated to a dance ending, complete with twerking, and Tiger falling into the pool.
Yeah. I'm sorry to sound so excited, folks, but this is the most interesting scene of the whole damn movie. And I will say that the girls do look good.
Yes.
And Tiger looks like a complete moron, and you just can tell he's backing closer and closer and closer to the ledge of the pool.
Yes. The only thing I can explain is the reason.
I was just going to say, Batgirl's final shot. That's all I'm going to say. Or Batwoman's final shot.
As she walks away disgusted and just throws her hands up in the air. Yeah, that's about sums up everybody else watching the movie.
I don't think that was scripted.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
I think she's doing, that's it, Jerry. That's it. I quit.
I quit. We're done. This is it. You know what? The only explanation I can come up with is because it's in English, it makes it more painful.
You know what? If this was not in English, I don't know if I would have the wherewithal to figure out what the hell's going on.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it's difficult enough in English. I mean, you'd be going back and forth, back and forth. Some guy gets killed in an alleyway. Some girls are gyrating. They go to a laboratory. They go to a seance. You'd be like, what's going? You can't make this stuff up.
No.
You can't make a story out of this.
No, you can't. No. I don't know. I don't know. I just sat there and I was just stunned at just how, and like I said, I've seen scenes here and there and stuff. I never even got to watch. I haven't watched it yet. Is the Mystery Science Theater 3000? I know it existed and stuff, but I'd never seen it and stuff. And I just sat there and I was like, yeah, this is definitely appropriate for Mystery Science Theater. And I said, I'm just surprised that Dr. Forrester didn't win with this one, because this should have been the one that broke him.
Oh, there've been a few that have been a lot worse. Like Manos Hands of Fate is one of the worst they've done. But I mean, yeah, and I do strongly suggest you and everybody else do track down a copy of the MST3K, because it is actually very funny.
Yeah.
The version of this, but watching it without, it's like scenes just linger, and sometimes there's no music or anything, and you're just like, what am I watching? What did I eat that went bad?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I just, all right. So here's the thing, I'm going to cut to the chase. I mean, you really cut to the chase early on. Nora Clavicle or this?
You know what? It's a tie.
Oh, really?
For me.
Interesting.
Because Nora Clavicle is such a bad episode. It really is. I mean, it's painful to watch. And this is painful to watch, and I'm not sure I'd want to watch either one of them over the other.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to give Nora Clavicle by just a hair's length. That's it. And simply because it at least is genuine Batman, for one. And two, I got a chance to meet Barbara Rush about a year ago at that Batman Museum exhibit opening. It was a very brief encounter because she had all her people around her. The woman's like 90 something years old. And God bless, she was in the middle of all this chaos. I'm like thinking to myself, I'd keep her home, but there she was. And for that brief moment that I spoke to her, and it was just a couple of seconds, she put her hand out to me. I touched her hand, and she was looking at me and talking to, like it was so sincere, and she's just so beautiful. I just was like, okay, you know what? That too is just like, I can watch this just to see you. Between her appearance on this, Nora Clavicle, and then she also would 10 years later appear on The Bionic Woman as Jamie's duplicate mother. I loved it. I loved her. So I'm going to give this. I'm going to give
nothing against Barbara Rush. Yeah. Nothing against Barbara Rush.
Yeah. But I'm going to give her. I'm going to give it by a nose hair because of those elements.
I'll give it to Nora because it's in color.
There you go too. There's the color we were promised at the beginning of the episode. It says Batman in color. We got color. She was never given the color she was promised.
Again, black and white.
Yeah.
Isn't black and white the summation of all the colors?
But aren't you going to? Couldn't you just see Jerry Warren afterwards saying, "I told you it was a color film. Those are two colors. You got twice the color. So shut up."
You got your boat.
You got your boat.
You got your two colors. It's not. I didn't film with the lens cap on, and she's probably like, "Well, you should have."
And I did have better production values. I stole from some better movies.
Yeah. We jumped the fence to Universal one night and stole some reels. It was pot luck, but we took what we had and we spliced it in. Yeah, she doesn't even get a vehicle. I mean, outside of the boat. And
right.
Let's. I mean, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
See, that makes it even sadder because, like, the Filipino film had a car, and the Batwoman had somewhat of a car. Like, they all had like some money put into it, even if it was just $1.98. This thing does not look like he spent any money. He probably used all sets and also, God only knows, like that company may have been a friend of his or something that had a company or worked in a company, and they were able to get in there one night and just shoot the whole damn thing.
Probably. Oh,
You know?
more than likely. And I mean, that laboratory with the painted dials gives me an effing break, folks.
Yeah.
How did he hire these beautiful women? I mean, there's got to be 10 of them running around, and it's like they couldn't have got more than $5 a day.
Yeah, but you know what? He, you know, back then it was just, I'm going to be in the movies, you know?
I'm going to be in a Batman type movie, and Batman's hot right now, so yeah.
This is my way to stardom. And that may be why the original number 14 was acting up. She probably thought she was the bee's knees, and this was the start of a big thing, and then he shot her down. And yet, despite it, she still made an effort.
She still made an effort, and she's still more memorable than the Andy War, or not, the John Waters girl.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to go star in Pink Flamingos now. I'll see you guys later.
Right.
So, yeah, but no, I'll give it. So, what was your favorite Bat gadget, John?
Well, she did throw a smoke bomb.
Oh, you mean it wasn't her wristwatch? And, what the hell was that diamond on her finger? Was that like one of those old glass doorknobs?
Oh, yeah, I know, right? It's huge.
Oh, right. So, I wasn't bored. I wasn't bored during this.
You weren't?
Okay. I did watch it. I watched it 14 times, people. There's that number
14 times. Oh, God. I could only manage a couple. It really was painful. It really was. This was the worst out of the bunch we've done so far. The worst.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just remember how terrible James Batman was. And I think it's because the scenes just dragged on forever. Yeah, it's like, you have an hour and a half fight scene, and then it cuts to something else. No, it's a toss-up. It's a coin flip.
Okay. All right. Fair
for me.
Fair enough. Now, I got to ask, because I know we talked about this. What have we decided then for the next episode?
Okay. Well, if you can, and I think that you will be able to track down a copy of Ray Dennis Steckler's Rat Fink a Boo Boo.
Okay. Rat Fink a Boo Boo.
And which it's supposed to be Rat Fink and Boo Boo, but they couldn't even get the title card right. And for those that do or do not know, Ray Dennis Steckler was quite the cult film person from back in the 60s. He worked on EGA with Richard Kiel. He did like the Incredibly Strange Monsters that turned into mixed up creatures and zombies or something or other. But this was his take on Batman. It came out in August of 66. It's very bizarre, but it's actually a lot of fun.
And the Rat Fink here in this one is not to be confused with the Rat Fink in Wild World of Batwoman.
No. And they do have a rat cycle.
Oh, okay. So there is something.
Yeah, with sidecar. So there you go.
Rat Fink a Boo Boo.
Yeah.
Come on, Boo Boo, to the Rat Fink cycle. Okay, Rat Fink.
You're actually not that far off.
Oh, boy. Okay. Why do we have to get the picnic basket, Rat Fink?
Well, I think Rat Fink at one point goes, okay, Boo Boo, let's go after them.
All right, so then we'll track that down, and we'll make that our next project here on the Batcave podcast. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb series. But until then, Robert, how are things going over in the Batman group on Facebook?
I've actually been a little bit more proactive on there lately. I don't know if anybody's noticed.
I have.
Oh, good.
Oh,
good. Yeah, digging up stuff. My next post is going to be the difference between the pilot sets and the sets for the rest of the series, because they are actually completely different.
Yes.
And just having a great time posting stuff on there and defending Burt Ward's honor and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to tell me off screen what that was all about. Hopefully it wasn't my podcast. He's quiet.
No,
He's quiet. Okay.
It wasn't, but no. To put it just mildly, folks, people were saying that Burt was a terrible actor, and I'm like, no, he was perfect. What are you talking about?
No, he was. He was absolutely.
But anyways, if you want to check me out and see about getting on there, I do screen, but I am a fair person on there. It's the 1966-1968 television Batman Facebook page.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's going to do it then for this episode of the Batcave podcast. Tune in. Robert and I will be along soon with another edition here of Some Days You Just Can't Get Rid of a Bomb. Plus, we're continuing our look at the Filmation 77 series. The Electra Woman and Dyna Girl series will soon be starting Monster Squad. And there'll be some other things coming down the line here, as always, on the Batcave podcast. You thought it was over with the reviews of the TV series, but no, there is still so much Batmania out there, even as the years went on. So until then, folks, thank you so much for listening. Once again, Robert, citizens, take care.
Take care, John.
Thanks for listening, chums. I don't have a bat phone, but you can contact the Batcave podcast through its Facebook page, Twitter, email at thebatcavepodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the podcast via Libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN.com. Or through iTunes. The Batcave podcast is part of a series of pop culture podcasts from the Chronic Rift Network. Find them at chronicrift.com. So until next time, citizens, same bat time, same Batcave podcast.